All right, here we go. We'll begin this week with a fun fact. The Atlantic Coast Conference was the only league in college football that posted 2 victories against top 10 opponents in week 1. Miami beat number 6 Notre Dame. Florida State beat number 8 Alabama. On top of that, Georgia Tech did go to Colorado and beat Deion Sanders and his Buffaloes in that Friday night national TV matchup. It was not a perfect Labor Day weekend for the ACC by any means. Syracuse got crushed by Tennessee. Clemson lost at home to LSU. Virginia Tech fell to South Carolina in Atlanta. Carolina got annihilated by TCU at home. But those huge wins by the Canes and the Noles in particular on very big stages and also in national TV spotlights, they offered an early indicator that the ACC is definitely willing to play a lot of those big games against high quality non-conference foes, and B, that at least several teams in the top third of the ACC will say are very capable of winning those big games as well. Now for some quick shout outs across all levels of college football. Shout out to 4th-year Miami coach Mario Cristobal and his top 10 Hurricanes. UM's 27-24 victory over number 6 Notre Dame, to me, was bigger and better than any of that school's victories from its 10-3 season a year ago, when star quarterback Cam Ward, now in the NFL, often had to rescue the Canes with offensive fireworks, even against lesser opponents, when Miami's defense was regularly having trouble stopping people or sometimes even slowing them down. The win over the Irish on Sunday night was, I thought, far from perfect, but it was a much more of a well-balanced team effort. The quarterback, Carson Beck, the Georgia transfer, looked pretty good against a well-coached Irish defense. The Miami defense held Notre Dame's running back, Jeremiah Love, one of the best at that position in the entire country, to only 33 yards on 10 carries. There's no way UM would have been able to pull that off last year. And when the Canes needed stops toward the end of that game against Notre Dame, defensive end Reuben Bain Jr., one of their top NFL prospects, came up with 1 sack. And the other defensive end, Akeem Mesidor, a 6th-year senior, came up with another sack. That's the sort of well-rounded effort that bodes well for the Canes as this season continues to unfold. Shout out to 6th-year Florida State coach Mike Norvell and his Seminoles, who have re-entered the national rankings, and deservedly so, after their 31-17 victory over number 8 Alabama in Tallahassee last Saturday. It's a major test of your program's fiber when you fall all the way from a 13-1 ACC championship campaign to a 2-10 train wreck in back-to-back seasons. And it obviously adds some extra spice when, as last week, it's the top 10 Crimson Tide coming to town for your 2025 opener. Besides being much tougher at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, which is a great starting point, the Seminoles just had people who fit their plan against Alabama. The new offensive coordinator, the guru Gus Malzahn, combined with the dual threat quarterback Tommy Castellanos, who lived up to his bold Nick can't save them offseason declaration toward the Crimson Tide, they made FSU infinitely more difficult to defend than was the case last year with DJU at quarterback. The talented and athletic Alabama defense seemed off balance for most of the game, and that is a credit to both FSU's improved talent level, but also the Seminoles' smarter game plan. There's still a long way to go, but that was a huge step back in the right direction for the Garnet and Gold. Shout out to Dave Doran and NC State. I know, it wasn't always pretty. But the Wolfpack's 24-17 victory over East Carolina last Thursday night both avenged the Pack's ugly Military Bowl loss to the Pirates at the end of last season and extended Dave Doran's record to a stellar 28-1 in non-conference games at Carter Finley Stadium since the 2013 season, which was his first in Raleigh. Doran's only home loss to a non-conference opponent from 2014 through the early part of this season came in 2023 on a strange day when a top 10 Notre Dame team beat the Pack after or in the midst of a 2-hour-long lightning delay. That 12-year home run by Dave Doran at Carter Finley is a pretty impressive testament to Doran's well-earned reputation as a consistent winner and state's all-time winningest football coach. I know the Pack fans want more, and I get it, but those superlatives also deserve to be recognized. Shout out to first-year Appalachian State head coach Dowell Loggins. He took a largely rebuilt Mountaineers team to Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte last Friday night and left absolutely no doubt that his team, one of the superpowers in the Sun Belt Conference until recent years, was much better than the Charlotte 49ers of the American Conference. The final score at the Duke's Mayo Bowl Classic was App State 34, Charlotte 11. The Mountaineers outgained the 49ers by a stunningly wide margin of 586 to 218. And maybe the most exciting detail in the victory was that Loggins, an offensive guru with decades of experience in the National Football League and the Southeastern Conference, showcased multiple playmakers in week one. Just as many offenses across the country and across our state were struggling with their timing and their execution. App State quarterback A.J. Swan, the former Vandy starter who was stuck in the depth chart at LSU last year, completed 31 of 46 passing attempts for 368 yards, 3 touchdown passes, and no interceptions. At running back, Rashad Dubinion, a transfer from Arkansas of the SEC, rushed 22 times for 111 yards and a touchdown. And at wide receiver, Jaden Barnes, a really small but really quick guy who was one of the top receivers in the FCS ranks last year at Austin Peay, had 6 catches for 134 yards and a touchdown. It is only one game again, and it came against a rebuilding opponent in the Charlotte 49ers. But that was an absolutely brilliant debut for Coach Loggins and his 2025 Mountaineers. At the FCS level, a huge shout out to second-year Gardner-Webb head coach Chris Reisert and his running Bulldogs, who went to number 19 Western Carolina and beat the Catamounts 52-45 last Saturday in Cullowhee. The Bulldogs in this game were behind by 28 points in the third quarter. 35-7 was the score before the Bulldogs put up some pinball machine-style numbers down the stretch to claim that victory. A fifth-year senior quarterback named Nate Hampton. He's 6'6", 240 pounds, from Davie County High School here in North Carolina. He spent the last 4 years as the backup quarterback at Liberty University, and he entered this year hoping for his first significant playing time of his entire college career. The guy was not only the star against Western, he was the FCS National Offensive Player of the Week after his Gardner-Webb debut. Hampton threw for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 132 yards and 4 scores in that comeback victory over the Catamounts. The Bulldogs' 28-point second-half comeback was the largest in program history, and it came on the road against a nationally ranked team that's been pretty good in recent years under the head coach Kerwin Bell. By the way, Gardner-Webb immediately gets another huge challenge here in week 2. The Bulldogs are visiting Georgia Tech of the ACC.
I love sports. But is Sport Clips better than sports? Because Sport Clips is sports. Plus a hot steam towel. Sport Clips, it's a game changer.
And finally, a shout out to all 5 Division III programs in our state. Brevard College, Greensboro College, Guilford College, the home of our good friend and partner Mike Waddell, proud product of Guilford football and that outstanding college. Methodist University and also North Carolina Wesleyan University. All of them begin their 2025 seasons this week, including with Greensboro College's 6-mile trip down the road to nearby Guilford on Saturday night. Best wishes to all 5 of those D3 programs here in our backyard as they put their seasons into launch mode. Those are my week 2 fun facts and shout outs
on the North Carolina Sports Network.